Well, hello and welcome to the Cluebird. I'm your host, Arwayne Browne. I'm also the author of the book, The Cluebird. Today, I'd like to discuss do what you must do first. And you're probably thinking, I thought I already did that. Well, maybe you do. But hear me out. I think you would agree that many people just do what they want to do. Their body is in charge of them. So they are whimsical and they just do whatever they feel like when they want to, totally ignoring what they must do, should do, and have to do, and putting it off until the last minute with possibly the least amount of effort. However, leaders do what they must do first. I think if you would observe anybody that's relatively successful, we would all agree that they tend to do what they must do first. It appears that their mind is in charge of them, not their body. And I bet we would agree they probably all have certain standards, disciplines, and clear intentions. Standards meaning there are certain things, there are certain behaviors they would never drop below. Discipline means, to me, you'll notice with successful people, there are certain things they never do. And there are certain things they always do. And clear intentions. I think successful people think of themselves as a business. And when you run a business, of course, you're thinking of, geesh, what are we going to do this week, month, year? Where are we going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? So they have clear intentions. And those clear intentions, I think, are the driving force that boils all the way down to what we're going to do this month, this week, or even possibly today. We're going to get certain things done because we have to get where we want to be. 6 months, a year, 5 years from now. So the goals that people set, the clear intentions they have, help predict their life. They don't react to life, they predict their life. And that's what makes them successful. It's the difference between responsibility and rebellion. A successful person that is always going to do what they must do, have to do, should do first. Their mind's in charge. They have clear intentions. They know where they're going. They're predicting their life. They're successful. Whereas somebody who's just driven by their body, by their wants, they don't have clear intentions. They just bumble along, doing what they want. They may be in a different city or state next year, a different job, because they're just reacting to life. And in going down that path, I think people often are not very successful. Their life is frustrating. It's one unpleasant event after another. And I think that it's like a teapot on a stove. It just slowly comes to a boil. And I think those kinds of people ultimately get frustrated and angry with life, and it leads to their rebellion. When I was growing up with my grandmother, I was a professional at doing what I wanted to do and never doing what I needed to do. I was a professional. I would put off everything till the last possible moment, which was quickly leading to a crisis in my life. Then I'd go whining to my grandmother to help me or get one of her kids to help me. And then they would be straddled with helping me get out of a jam that I had created in the first place. And how many times did my grandmother say to me, if you had just done the chore in the first place and not whined about it, it would be done by now. And you could be out doing whatever you want to do. She said, look at me. She goes, you probably have noticed that every day I set my priorities for myself. I have a little sheet of paper. I write down exactly what I need to do today. And then I number them, the hardest or the most undesirable thing first and down the line. So when I get you kids off to school, it's because I get busy myself getting all my stuff done. And I can't wait to get it done. Why? Because then I can relax. I can go out on the porch with an iced tea or a cup of coffee, and I can just sit there and relax with a clear mind. I thought, she's right. She does that. I've seen her little list. I remember the other day I picked one up and it had 1, 2, 3, 4, about, I think 7 things, and there was a line through a couple of them, maybe a check mark or two, a little happy heart, a smiley face. That was her priority list for that day. I thought, I want to try that. I want to secretly try that. I'm not telling anybody. I'm just going to start doing it. So I wrote out my little list. I numbered them, hardest to the easiest. And on the other side of the page, I wrote down what I wanted to do. I wanted to go swimming, for example. And I found out after about 2 days of that getting your stuff done that you need to do, must do, have to do is hard. I was struggling to get all that stuff done. I had very little time for playing with my friends, doing what I wanted to do. So I started really working on getting more and more efficient at getting my stuff done. And so after a couple of weeks, it was slowly becoming a habit. I was starting to do days in advance. Well, anyway, I started noticing that I was ahead in school. I was actually helping kids with their homework. No, they always helped me with my homework. Big change. I was mowing the yard one day, and my grandma came out of the house yelling at me. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm mowing the lawn." She goes, "You're mowing the lawn and I haven't had a chance to yell at you about it yet?" I washed the car. One day I actually went down, said, "Hey, can I help you with the laundry?" I thought I was going to need to call an ambulance. But I found that I was getting all my need to do things done, and it left plenty of time for me to do whatever I wanted. And so I had all this free time. So I was getting things done that I wouldn't. The yard started looking better and better. The cars were pretty clean. Everything was done. I also noticed that during my free time, I did not have that constant nagging in the back of my head of all the things that I needed to do because I had done everything I was supposed to do today. So I found that all of a sudden that my leisure time or my do whatever I want time was very pleasant. So as a single dad years later, I use the same approach with my kids. I'd set my priorities and I'd always do the hard stuff first every day. And I'd share that with my kids. At breakfast, I'd say, "Well, here's my list. Here's what I got to do today." I got, 12 things I have to do today. Wow. And I flip the page over and go, "What do I want to do?" And I said, "Wow, it says here I want to go swimming with my kids." Everybody's smiling. Everybody's happy. I said, "All right, I want to get through my list and we'll go swimming tonight." Great. A couple of days go by. I kept showing them my list. "Here's what I'm doing today." I said, "Where's your list?" "You don't have a list?" "Oh." And I grab a napkin and said, "Well, let's make out your list for you real quick here." So we had 4 or 5 things. I numbered them as the degree of difficulty. And I flipped it over and I said, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do today?" "Ride my bike, do whatever." I said, "Okay, here's your list." I said, "Tonight when we get home, let's compare them." And so we started doing the list thing. And all of a sudden, they started doing the list every day. And so we got to where at night it was kind of a game because we could actually compare our list. And we could realize that doing these everyday lists of what you have to do and then flipping the page and doing whatever you wanted to do. It was a great way to live your life. And my kids were successful in school, and they were very happy. So life is not about perfection. It's more about priorities. Your priorities will tell the truth about who's leading you. If you think about your priorities, it will reveal who's leading you really. Is it you or your impulses? Is it your mind or your body? Do you have standards, disciplines, and clear intentions? Or do you not? Make delayed gratification and prioritization of work your signature move to self-leadership. Delayed gratification, I taught my children, is far sweeter than rushing to do something you want to do because you like it. No, do it in time. Do it after you've done all the things that you're supposed to do. One day I asked my son, I said, hey, you want to go get some ice cream? And then you come home and finish the yard? Or do you want to do the yard and we'll go get ice cream? In a second, he said, hey, I'll go finish the yard and then we can go get ice cream. And off he went. I thought, wow, I'm winning this. I'm really getting this. This is becoming a habit for these kids. And so I reinforced delayed gratification and prioritization of work with my kids because I would constantly ask them the choices. Hey, you want to go do this and then do that, or you want to do this and then do that? And I'd listen for the answer. And if the answer was correct, in other words, let's do what we have to do first, and then we can go enjoy our leisure time, great answer. But if they said it the wrong way, I would say, hey, maybe we ought to think about that for a minute. You might consider we'll do our work first, and then we can go enjoy ourselves, and we won't be rushed. Oh, yeah. So by reinforcing that repeatedly with them, I think I developed with them a muscle to always do delayed gratification and always do what you must do first. I think that we can't just preach that because they won't get it. I think we need to teach it. And I taught my kids delayed gratification and prioritization of work because we did it every day. And it just became a way of life for them. So, how's it going with you? Do you always do what you need to do first, what you have to do, what you should do first? Is your mind in charge of you or your body? Are you predicting your life or are you just reacting to your life? Do you have standards, disciplines, and clear intentions? Do you have clear intentions that can tell me very quickly and very distinctly exactly what you need to do, want to do, should do to be over here in 6 months? Or here's where I want to be in a year, or here's what I want to have done in 5 years. Clear intentions. That's the way to lead a life that is predictable. That you're the driving force in your life because your mind is in charge of you. So thanks for tuning in today. And if you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe. Oh, hot tip. Until we meet again, to our next visit, think about a problem that you're dealing with right now. Something that's really bugging you. been eating at you for a while. It's a real problem. And I want you to think about that problem and ask yourself this question. Is it really a problem, or is it just an option?